fiddlesticks!
What, Wilbur?
We just got hit and I think my back is all been out of shape.
You gotta talk with those whippersnappers at the Advocates Law Firm. They're the best injury lawyers around.
What?
Pipe down, Clarence! Abner's telling me about the lawyers and the advocates. So what happened to you, Abner?
I was walking across the street with the light when some young punk came screeching around the corner. I lost a toe.
What?
Shut it, Clarence! If you get injured, the advocates get results.
AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink evidence, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. Today we toast Mr. Dan Graham of Austin, Texas. Now, look, he works as a financial consultant, and he says ignoring random phone calls, it's not an option for him because he has to travel between two different cities all the time. And he spends most of his time away from his wife and his two kids. So if his phone rings, he answered it, might be an emergency. He has to answer them even if they're spam calls about half the time. Now, he tried adding his number to the do not call list. He filed complaints with the Better Business Bureau. None of that did any good. So last April, he decided to sue one of the companies that kept calling him. And he won. Or technically, they settled. But they had to because he showed they were violating something called the Federal Telephone Consumer Protection Act. So after that, different companies kept calling him. He decided to keep suing them. In the last 11 months, he's filed more than 50 lawsuits. He has made $75,000. He says some of the companies didn't even know what was happening because a lot of them use outside contractors for marketing. And once they found out, they actually stopped doing it. And he says around 10 of the companies that he has sued, they now changed their marketing strategy and aren't calling random people anymore. This guy's doing a lot of good. You know what? It's worth every dime he got if they will stop calling me every morning at 8:15 sharp. Every day, it's the same company, 8:15 every morning. And it's to the point, I don't even ignore the call. I click it on and then hang up. Like, because you want to send a message that says, I know you're calling. I don't want to talk. I like this guy's style. He's like, man, I filed everything you say to file to get them to stop calling. They haven't done it. And I was just suing the hell out of them. And apparently it's easy to do.
Nice.
I'm amazed at the spam text you get now.
It is endless, man.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. My wife signed up for something called Spoonflower. All right. So Spoonflower, as I understand it, is like a website for materials.
All right.
Because she redoes a bunch of furniture and all this. I don't know how it got connected to my phone. But Spoonflower lets me know at least twice a day what great sales they have. This is our latest pattern.
Oh, that would drive me nuts.
Oh, my God, man. I have no idea how to get the hell out of Spoonflower sphere. Anyway, so here's this guy. We pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story. Something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes a story a story. Hello, Hunter. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. Yeah. Hola. All right, Hunter, you understand how this here game is played.
Yes, I do.
All right, you got your choice of one of three stories. The Wonderful World of Drugs, Bite Me, in other words, what did someone find in their food, and finally, Interior Decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
Well, I am 0 for 3 on interior decorating, so let's make it 0 for 4.
All right. Here's your story. 25-year-old Patrick Wilson He was riding in the passenger seat near Golden Gate Parkway and Santa Barbara Boulevard in Naples when the driver was pulled over for a broken headlight. The driver gave deputies permission to search the vehicle after they said they recognized Wilson from a previous law enforcement encounter. Now, when he got out of the car, a deputy noticed a bag of heroin by his feet, placed him under arrest. During a strip search at the jail, well, deputies found things, plural, things, inside of the 25-year-old's butt. He's now facing charges of drug possession and smuggling controlled substances, plural again, into the prison. So the question is, what did they not find stuffed into his butt? This thing is like a piñata or a wallet. So what did they not find in his butt? Heroin, cigarettes, fentanyl, or tinfoil. So heroin, cigarettes, fentanyl, or tinfoil. One of those was not in his butt.
Damn.
You got a big old boy.
See that, bro.
But they already caught.
Well, go ahead.
They already caught him with heroin.
They found heroin sitting at his feet, which is why they arrested him, right?
Okay.
Presumably it fell out of his anus, and that's why it was down at his feet. That's my only guess. But yeah, they saw the heroin. That's why they placed him under arrest. When they got to the jail and did the strip search, they're like, good God, man, what else you got in here?
I'm going to go. I'm going to go cigarettes because although it seems crazy, I mean he shouldn't have them up there because they're illegal. I don't know why. I just still got to believe that to be true. I think he has a pack of cigarettes. He's not going to jail, so like he doesn't need to stash them there. So I'm just going to say that it's not cigarettes.
I don't think he was planning to go to jail in the first place.
I know, but you feel like if you're stashing something that's legal, I'm just wondering where
in
you're
my
going.
butt. Yeah,
where are you going?
I'm going to say heroin.
You're going to say heroin, too.
Because he had all the other stuff still up there.
Hunter, what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, if he's got heroin, he's got tinfoil. Or if he's got tinfoil, he's got heroin.
And fentanyl.
So I'm going to go with cigarette.
You're going to go cigarettes as well. Okay. All right, we're going to go find out what did he not have in his anus. Was it heroin, cigs, fentanyl, or tinfoil next?
That was a tease.
Bro, gnarly. What's up, Taylor? Dude, that nerd in his electric hybrid totally blew the light while texting his yuppie friends.
That's so bogus, bro. Are you hurt?
Yeah, like I can't move my hips, bro. I think I broke my pelvis, man. Dude, no way.
Taylor, you need to drop a dime and talk with the lawyers at the Advocates Law Firm.
No way, can't afford that, bro.
Your crotch is broken, man, and they don't earn any money unless they win your case.
Dude, no way.
You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories: interior decorating. On profile list, we got a 25-year-old man who was in a car that was pulled over for a previous incident. He had things all over his car. Also had some stuff hidden up in the backside. Questions: he had so much stuff. What did he not have? Did he not have heroin, cigarettes, fentanyl, or tin foil?
And Hunter, unfortunately, I will start with you and Miles. Ooh. He did, in fact, have cigarettes.
Why?
Not did he only have cigarettes.
Why?
He had 305 cigarettes in his bed.
What?
305 cigarettes stuffed. I don't know how you'd pull that off. Maybe they're Virginia Slims. I don't know. 305 cigarettes. The Ted Smith, you went heroin, citing the fact they'd already found heroin sitting next to his foot.
Correct.
Whoops. You are correct.
There we go. Nice work.
So that's why I'm guessing the heroin had been up there, but a lot of space had been taken. So when he stood up, it probably fell out of his butt.
I'm guessing he's been in jail before if he's already that good at it.
If you have 305 cigarettes stuffed up your butt, I'm saying you spent not only been to jail before, but spent some quality time. So,
yeah.
It's like a carry-on inside your body.
It is.
Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon.
The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today, the Jimmies,
Kimmel Fallon,
Seth Meyers,
okay,
Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
Here's right through the title. All these guys have teams for talented writers that help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Actor Sam Elliott has been in the news lately after he criticized a Western movie he was not in because it had too many homosexual tones, in his opinion. So let's not tell Sam about Brokeback Mountain.
I think it's The Ted Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was big.
I thought the same thing. Like, I think they addressed this in cowboy movies. Made a lot of noise.
Willie Nelson has a song about it.
Brokeback Mountain.
My heroes have always been cowboys.
It's not as well known, but he's talking about how cowboys do stuff when they're out on the range.
On the road again.
Yeah. I'm serious. Like, it's not
that road is the Hershey Highway.
During a showing of the new movie, The Batman in Austin, an actual bat got into the theater. At first, people were like, finally, 3D without the glasses.
Fallon.
Yeah, Fallon.
That's Fallon.
During a showing of the new movie, The Batman, this weekend in Austin, an actual bat infiltrated the theater.
At first, people were like, finally, 3D without the glasses. They've done it.
An odd time to use the word infiltrate.
Yeah.
Visa and MasterCard on Sunday suspended credit card processing operations in Russia, and despite that, they still don't take Discover.
Myers.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Visa and MasterCard on Saturday suspended credit card processing operations in Russia, and despite that, they still don't take Discover.
Organizers of the Oscars have announced that Lady Gaga and Kevin Costner will be presenters at this month's ceremony. So if you liked Yellowstone and you liked House of Gucci, I would like to meet you and see what your deal is.
Myers. Smith.
Myers.
Organizers of the Oscars have announced Lady Gaga and Kevin Costner will be presenters at this month's ceremony. So if you liked Yellowstone and you liked House of Gucci, I'd love to meet you and see what your deal is.
He said her name wrong. He said Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga.
You know what's funny? I haven't watched House of Gucci yet. It does interest me. But I also really like Yellowstone.
I don't have much interest in House of Gucci. I think my wife wanted to see it. I just didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, I just like some of the actors in it. It seemed like an interesting story.
I like most of the actors involved. There's just something, and I'm sure the story, there's no reason for me not to watch this movie. I can't explain it. I like most of the actors involved. I more or less know the story, and it's pretty interesting. And I'm like, eh.
I think sometimes, too, it's weird with certain shows, right? Like, I really like Yellowstone.
Yeah.
But I have definitely, like, some people are like, finally a real TV, like a real show. As I guess some people are using it kind of like a political thing. Like, it leans one way or the other. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's kind of a gangster show about cowboys.
You might like The Mandalorian. It's an outer space western with.
You would actually probably like it.
I know I would, but at this point, just out of spite, I'm done with Star Wars.
I know, but this isn't a part of it.
I love your stance, though.
I mean, you can separate it.
But there's no good reason, just out of spite.
Right, I know.
Just not gonna do it. I'm trying to love it. Sounds great. Not gonna do it.
Right, exactly.
Oh no, Boba Fett was great.
I enjoyed Boba Fett. Mm-hmm. He seems like he can do it. It's okay.
It's a western.
It is. Well, that's the thing. That's what got me about Yellowstone. At the end of the day, it's kind of just a gangster show. It just happens to be there in Montana doing this and that.
Yeah, picture of The Wire. Put it in Montana.
Westworld. Kind of a western.
Kind of, yeah.
I fell out with Westworld.
I did too, man. It started really strong. I'm sure it's very good. I want to say I made it to the episode before the final episode of the first season.
I just want to see that black chick naked. That's the only reason.
Hey, man, that went a long way. Thandie Newton.
It really did. Man,
I hate saying her name, Thandie.
Golly.
Yeah, I was a little surprised in that scene. Like, I don't care if she's a robot.
I don't either.
That's when I decided I wanted to have sex with robots.
She's hot.
If they looked like that, there's no doubt about it, right? People make fun of it now. It's like, right, because they don't quite look human. And yes, I know Westworld's a TV show, but if they looked like that, I'd be 100% in.
Yeah.
I'm getting some Thandie tonight,
I'll
bro.
go to Westworld.
Do you guys remember Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
God damn right. That's the Muppets band, man.
Yeah. Well, they're getting their own show.
Get out of here.
Oh, I hope they go on tour and stuff. I hope it's like Spinal Tap.
Disney Plus is developing a show about the band called The Muppets Mayhem. It'll follow Dr. Teeth, Floyd, Janice, Zoot, Animal, and Lips as they record their first album.
I'm telling you what, man, they had this display at the EMP when they did the Muppet exhibit.
Yeah.
And you could go and you could kind of hook up with a band and you could play.
That's not the right choice of words.
Do you guys remember that? Like, well, you were like on stage, like in a little mini stage with them.
I went to the EMP specifically because I had the Muppets there. Yeah.
Did you see that thing? You know what I'm talking about.
I did.
It was awesome.
I will say, Muppets 3D in Disney World is probably one of the best things you can go do.
Is it a ride or is it?
No, they just have shows.
Okay.
Right? So, like, a lot of times in the parks, they'll have, like, a version, like the Lion King was on Broadway forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can, when you're at the parks, you can go to one of their theaters and go see the Lion King, but it's only like 15 minutes of it.
Oh, that's perfect for me.
So Muppets 3D is cool. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. The dudes are in the
Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah, they're in there too. It's just a fun show, and it's 3D.
That sounds cool.
Like I never really care about 3D stuff. Then anytime you go to a Disney park and you go to one of those 3D shows, you're like, man, 3D's amazing.
I'm an apologist for the Muppets. Always will be, man.
Yeah, Muppets are great. I told you, my friends, their kid always watches the Muppets. Like the last couple of years, I kind of got back into them. Like, damn, Muppets are
funny.
Elmo had a late night TV show for a while. I know he's not technically a Muppet.
No, he's not a Muppet.
But
put
he's
Elmo in the
world.
Muppet world.
Yeah, but he's in that. You know,
he had a late night TV show.
Oh yeah, the nightly talk show.
Oh my God,
it was awesome. He interviewed just like same people who come around and do all the junkets with the movies. And it's just Elmo sitting there like, you got a movie coming out this weekend.
This show too sounds pretty cool. Lily Singh will be on there. She'll play a junior A&R executive who has to help. Basically, the show is a musical-filled journey in which the 45-year-old band comes face-to-face with the current-day music scene as they attempt to go platinum.
Okay.
They're going to start filming in April, so that's probably a little ways off, but it still seems pretty funny.
I like the idea, man. And I'm glad the band got something. Everyone kind of liked the band because they modeled, I want to say, each member of the band.
They did.
Off of some
so Animals, Keith Moon. And one of the guys is Jeff Skunk Baxter from the Doobie Brothers.
Right.
And Steely Dan.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got a couple guys in there that they were like, yeah, this is...
To me, that'd be the ultimate tribute. Like, yeah, the band, hey, man, we modeled this guy on you. Like, all right.
Yeah, it's a good call. Well, I mean, Will Ferrell, he modeled himself after a drummer.
Yeah, down to the looks.
Right? I mean, they look...
That guy in Eddie Vedder's band.
Is Chad Smith playing with Eddie Vedder?
Yeah.
He is.
Oh,
yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. That's why when he was going back and forth with...
that guy in Chickenfoot.
When he was going back and forth with Nikki Sixx, he was on stage the one night and he's like, see our drummer? He's doing great. He doesn't need to be zooming around or upside down. It's like, oh, this Chad Smith.
The cast will ever tell you about meeting Eddie Vedder. It's fairly recently. All right, it's Eddie Vedder, right? Lead singer of Pearl Jam and all this.
Right.
And the solo stuff he's doing now. It's a few months ago. And I want to say Castle was in either Vegas or L.A.
Los Angeles.
But he's like, man, I'm bumping Eddie Vedder. And you don't know how he's going to be. But he goes, real nice guy. So nice I want to stop talking to him. But it's one of those things Castle says something to the effect of, hey, man, I've heard your solo stuff. It's really, really good.
Also said, hey, I work at KSW. He's like, oh, we're blood brothers.
Yeah, it started. Castle goes, immediately I knew I want to get out of this conversation. He's like, I did not care that it was Eddie Vedder. This is not the wormhole I want to go down.
Eddie Vedder, when you leave Seattle, Vedder is a weird thing to me, right? It's like, he still lives in the area.
Yeah.
He goes places. There used to be a bar, it's not open anymore, that I would go to. We all would go there in West Seattle. I knew he would go in there and drink. Like one night he was like two seats down from me. So like this summer I was hanging out with some buddies and they're asking about Pearl Jam and this and that. I'm like, yeah, man, Ed used to drink down to this. Oh, you call him Ed? Like, well, you asked.
That's his name.
Right, that's his name. That's the people that know him call. You asked if I ever run into him.
Have you ever met his brother, Darth?
Darth Vader?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not into that. You refuse to watch, don't you?
You gotta watch Star Wars.
He does not show up in The Mandalorian, so you're good.
Yeah, Darth Vader. You never met him?
No,
He's right there with him. Yeah.
Darth Vader.
He's kind of intense. Jeremy, I'm your father. You spoke in class today.
I spoke in class today. Come on.
He lives on a curve.
Let's see. CBS. They're doing a Survivor-like show, but with celebrities.
Ooh.
It's called Beyond the Edge.
Oh, God.
Yeah, basically same thing. Contestants are competing to earn money for charity. At the end of it, 2 celebrities will go head-to-head for one prize. That's what you got to do.
If I'm a celebrity, I'm like, I'm doing all this crap. It's all going to charity.
See, that's my problem.
This sucks. Can't you throw me a 10 spot?
I know it's good that celebrities do that, and they certainly don't need the money. But when you put money on the line for them personally, I feel like it gets a little more cutthroat.
You need to sit on that Army anthill.
Hear me out. There's some interesting celebrities in here.
All right.
First of all, Mauro, I always forget how to say his Rolano. Thrill, you'd know him. He does a lot of boxing stuff. He's been doing MMA stuff for years. He's not as big in the States. But if you ever saw him, I want to say for a little bit, too, he was doing maybe WWE.
Okay.
So, if you saw him and heard his voice, you would know his. So
this is a shirtless guy.
No, he's just like in the States. We're so used to UFC, so we're just used to whoever's calling it, for the UFC. He did stuff all over the world. And
okay.
So if you watch any combat sports, you know exactly who he is.
Okay.
You recognize his voice. But some of the contestants, the celebrities, you have Julie Sweeten from Full House and Fuller House. Like, all right.
She won't last long.
Supermodel Paulina Porskova.
Yeah, that was Rick Ocasek's wife.
She's probably in her 60s.
She is. Still looking good.
Let's see. NBA star, Meta World Peace.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. What was his real name again?
Ron Artest.
Ron Artest.
That's back in his fighting days.
That was the Detroit days.
Yeah.
From The Bachelor, Colton Underwood. Nothing for you, Mike. You're the Bachelor expert.
You're the Bachelor guy.
I know, hang on.
You know him. Colton Underwood also just sounds like a good country artist name.
It does. If your name is Colton.
Is that the guy that came out a few years ago?
Oh, that might be.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Who is he now? What do you got, Mike?
If I'm not mistaken, if Miles is right, I don't know if he is, but if Miles is right, he's on The Bachelor. He won, and then he came out as gay.
Yeah, that was his gimmick. Ha-ha! Surprise! Didn't see that coming, did ya? Twist!
The main thing
That's
is...
some M. Night Shyamalan twist.
There's 2 NFL, as they say, legends on here.
Legends, all right.
You're right, Miles.
Would you like a hint?
All right.
They both played the same position.
Offense or defense?
Defense.
Is this the one with Ray Lewis?
Ray Lewis?
And Mike Singletary.
Mike Singletary.
I saw
my God.
All right, so I saw a commercial for this. I did not realize what it was called, all right?
Right, because it's starting up pretty soon.
They show Ray Lewis. He's like giving someone a piggyback, right? Like to help them, not like fun. And I knew he was going to be on some reality show soon, so I wasn't shocked. And then toward the end of this commercial, they showed a clip, and I see Mike Singletary, and I'm like, honest to God, Mike Singletary to me is scarier than Ray Lewis.
He is, and he was also a coach. So he coached for a number of years, and when the Ravens had that Super Bowl run, Singletary was Ray Lewis's linebacker coach. That's the one thing about coaches. If you ever interview them or whatever, they're intimidating as hell. But the linebacker coaches, you do not want to anger them. It's like always like Ken Norton Jr.
Right.
Or like, you know what I mean? Mike Singletary. Guys that could kill you with their pinky. Like,
yeah, that's a position
right
coach
now,
that's
60
still
years old.
Fired
it's
up.
just like, I'm not interviewing him.
As I say, linebacker coach and D-line coach are always the scariest.
Yeah. And by the way, Ted, that Morrow guy, and I was wondering if it was this guy.
Yeah,
this is the guy that did the Mike Tyson boxing match with a couple years ago. What's his face?
Roy Jones Jr.?
Yeah.
Plus, I'm telling
he
you,
is hilarious. Dude,
he's awesome. He just for some reason, he's much more famous around the world than he is here, but he's been calling combat sports forever.
He has every pop culture drop that you can put into calling anything. He is hysterical.
Let's see. Check out Seth Meyers tonight. He's going to have on the very funny Leslie Jones.
Oh, nice.
No Sounders left. Can't believe it. Unbelievable. I've been so excited about this championship game.
What are they playing in right now, Miles?
What'd you say, CONCACAF?
What did you say, Ted?
Yeah,
whatever you said is what.
I was like, you going to this game tonight? I didn't even know it was on.
I don't think it's in my season tickets.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell? Thank you, man. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with the dedicated road solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed. You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Michigan man tries to steal a helicopter to then attack a hospital and release people being treated for COVID-19. Meanwhile, a Louisiana cop is pounced on by an angry nut stasher who was furry and mean. Florida teacher tries to steal jar of pickles and bites 2 students on the arm. Florida mom leaves child for 2 hours in the car to gamble, causing some alarm. And Mom of the Year takes her son to fight another teen, then decides to jump in for fun. It is time for your headline.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
All right, top story, we go to Louisiana, where a deputy was attacked on the job. They made a routine stop that did end with the arrest of the driver, but as they were searching the car for anything suspicious, one of the officers was attacked by the feral pet squirrel that was inside the car. Video shows the deputy flailing about as the squirrel crawled all over his body. The animal was eventually wrangled safely and put back into his cage unharmed.
Somehow that's different than like a dog. You know, no one wants to be attacked by a dog. I just feel like you're more mentally prepared for it.
Sure.
But when it's a squirrel, you're kind of like, I don't know how to handle this.
Right.
I don't understand this.
Just because they're a little bit sporadic as it is, they're all over the place. You don't, yeah.
What did you say today, earlier, Ted? Why does every squirrel act like it's their first day being a squirrel?
Yeah, that off of
all twitchy and running around and all the weirdness.
Like they're always shocked.
Exactly.
Oh my God, I'm a squirrel.
Moving a mile a minute.
You know, I've fed a squirrel a peanut over the weekend.
Nice.
Where?
At my buddy's house. He was like, I'm friends with the squirrels. Wow.
I'm friends with the squirrel.
Full disclosure, first he said, hey, there's a squirrel. You know what we're going to do? And I was like, shoot it? And he's like, no. We're going to feed it peanuts. And I was like, all right. I won't lie, though. I got a little scared. I just kind of tossed it close to the
Because it'll bite you, man.
That is also a terrible idea. We took a family road trip out to Yellowstone several years ago, and my dad sitting up in the morning would just eat a little thing of peanuts, and then there was a squirrel out there, so he started tossing the peanuts out there. That became the worst mistake of the vacation, because every morning that doggone squirrel would just sit there and chirp outside. He had a little stump that he'd sit on.
You got peanuts.
Right, just calling after him.
Tells my cousin, he's 3 years old, born and raised in Houston at the time. We take him up to upstate New York. We're living out in the woods, and a squirrel is right outside on the deck. Whoa. And my mom is all excited to tell my cousin, I'm like, look, Sam, it's a squirrel. Look at the squirrel. Look at that little squirrel. Sam looks at it. Can I kill him? She's like, oh, God, no.
Oh, no.
First words out of his mouth.
Can I kill him? Can I kill him?
In other news, meanwhile, in Florida, a woman was arrested for having a little fun. Police were called to a parking lot after reports of a child that had been left alone in a car. They managed to find the child in good condition in their car seat. After about 5 minutes, the child's mother emerged from the storefront. She admitted to police after a threat of checking security footage that she had left her child alone in the car with the windows up and the AC turned on while she went inside to gamble, but lost track of time for 2 hours.
Because you went to a casino. You know what you do in a casino? You lose track of time.
It was actually a young child who had not been fed, was also malnourished.
Right.
Was dehydrated, had chapped lips, had skin that was peeling off of itself, and it was in like a child's car seat.
Right.
I mean, this was like an infant.
This was bad.
Yeah.
And she was charged with felony child neglect.
Again, you ask yourself, I have to get a license to go fishing.
Right.
But to be a parent, I just got to knock someone up.
Exactly.
Well, you got to know how to take the hook in.
Hey, that's a good point. Right. You're talking about babies.
Yeah. No, fishing.
Oh, see, that's where I went wrong.
Mm-hmm. In Missouri, a woman taking her son to a fist fight decided to make sure that he'd come out as the winner. The story goes that she drove her 14-year-old son to a private location where awaited another group of kids that had the intention of settling a dispute between them all with a good old-fashioned fist fight. But as the throwdown commenced, the woman's son got knocked down early in the round, prompting her to pull a knife and slash one of the other fighters on the hand. The combatants then fled the scene and alerted authorities, who arrested the woman on serious charges.
Now, if you're going to take your kid to a fist fight, then I hope the kid you took to a fist fight can fight. You took him there.
Right.
He got knocked down because that's what happens in a fight.
And I'm not going to condone kids fighting out their issues, but I understand,
it's what they do.
Exactly. Sometimes you just need to ball up the fist and just see who comes out the winner.
But I would not take my kid to that. My kid had an issue with one kid in school, and I told him, if you put the hands on you, you do everything you can to knock him unconscious.
Right.
I'll stand by that. I don't feel bad. I don't care what anyone thinks. What I would not do, if it says the kid did this, I would not be like, hop in the car.
Right.
Let's go get him. You have to deal with this in the time that you have to deal with it. But if he puts his hands on you, then knock him the F out.
And it sounds like nothing had even started. It was a disagreement between the two of them that obviously blew to the point to where they wanted to kick each other's ass.
Sure.
Okay, if you want to play referee, fine, to make sure that your kid doesn't get seriously injured, fine. But you're taking your kid to this fight, there's a 50-50 shot that he's going down, man.
It might not even be 50-50.
Yeah.
I got my ass kicked a lot.
And that is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you up next. More Men's Room is on the way with the Men's Room Happy Hour exclusively on the Odyssey app.
Yes, indeed. It is all true. The Appy Hour. In the meantime, we be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.